You missed it. While you were sleeping, HCWB exploded 129% in a single session. Your portfolio didn't move. Your neighbor just texted you a screenshot of his gains. Your coworker is already posting about it on social media. And you're sitting there wondering if you're the fool who always arrives late to the party. The market is moving without you. And every second you hesitate is money walking out the door. This is the moment that separates winners from losers in the market. This exact moment. When FOMO hits like a freight train and your rational mind goes silent. Right now, as we speak, HCWB sits at $243, up an astronomical 129%. Social media is exploding with screenshots of overnight millionaires. Reddit threads are multiplying by the minute with stories of regular people who threw their savings at this stock and won the lottery. Meanwhile, disciplined investors watched from the sidelines. And the question burning in everyone's mind is simple. Did discipline just cost you a fortune? Alex Chen is refreshing his trading app for the 100th time this morning. His stress ball hasn't left his grip since market open. The notifications won't stop buzzing. Every alert feels like another missed opportunity slipping away. He's calculating in his head, if he'd put just 5,000 into HCWB yesterday, he'd be up over 11,000 by lunch. The math is screaming at him. The market is screaming at him. His portfolio balance is screaming at him to do something. Anything, before the next rocket ship leaves without him aboard. But across town, Marcus Sterling sits in his study, silver-rimmed glasses reflecting the morning light, weathered hands steady as stone as he turns the page of his morning reading. The same market data streams across his screen. The same astronomical gains flash in green. Yet his pulse hasn't quickened. His breathing remains controlled. Because Marcus Sterling learned long ago what the greatest leaders in history understood about moments like these. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, commander of legions, steward of the greatest empire in history, wrote these words in his private journal. In your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversations, don't confuse. In your thoughts, don't wander. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. In your life, don't be all about business. The emperor who could have commanded armies to seize any treasure he desired chose instead the discipline of measured action. He understood what modern investors have forgotten, that the market's greatest rewards don't come from chasing what's already moved, but from the patient cultivation of wisdom while others succumb to emotional chaos. Aurelius faced barbarian invasions, political conspiracies, plagues that decimated his empire. Yet his journals reveal a man who never lost his center, who never allowed external turbulence to dictate internal peace. When generals urged hasty military campaigns, when senators demanded immediate action, when the very survival of Rome hung in the balance, Marcus Aurelius chose deliberate, principled response over reactive impulse. This is the same discipline that creates lasting wealth in markets that reward the patient and punish the impulsive. The screen goes quiet now. No buzzing notifications, no frantic calculations, no FOMO whispers, just silence. Because in this silence lives the truth that changes everything. The emperor knew something about human nature that Wall Street has spent centuries trying to make you forget. Here's what Marcus Sterling learned from studying Aurelius, what transformed him from a reactive trader into a wealth-building machine. The Stoic investor's framework begins with a single premise that contradicts everything modern finance teaches. While everyone else asks, "What can I gain?" the Stoic investor asks, "What can I control?" This isn't philosophical wordplay. This is the practical difference between building sustainable wealth and gambling with your future. When HCWB pops 129%, you cannot control that movement. You cannot control the timing. You cannot control whether it continues or crashes. You cannot control the social media frenzy or the FOMO crushing your chest right now, but you can control your response. You can control your analysis. You can control your risk management. You can control your emotional state. You can control whether this moment makes you stronger or leaves you weaker. Marcus Aurelius built his entire leadership philosophy on this distinction, and it's why his empire endured while others crumbled under the pressure of reactive decision-making. The Stoic investor applies this framework through 3 unbreakable disciplines. First, the discipline of perception. While Alex Chen sees HCWB's surge and calculates missed profits, Marcus Sterling sees a single data point in an infinite stream of market information. He doesn't deny the movement or minimize its significance for those who caught it. He simply refuses to let one stock's performance distort his understanding of wealth-building principles. Aurelius wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. The emperor who could have obsessed over every military victory of rival generals chose instead to focus on his own strategic position." Second, the discipline of action. The reactive investor sees HCWB's gains and immediately starts hunting for the next explosive stock, jumping into momentum trades, chasing patterns that have already played out. The Stoic investor continues executing his systematic approach, analyzing fundamentals, maintaining portfolio balance, making incremental improvements to his strategy based on evidence rather than emotion. Aurelius faced the same temptation when military victories by other commanders created pressure for Rome to launch hasty campaigns. His discipline was to maintain strategic focus on Rome's long-term position rather than chase tactical victories that might weaken the empire's foundation. Third, the discipline of will. This is where most investors fail, where the rubber meets the road, where knowledge transforms into wealth or dissolves into regret. The undisciplined investor knows he shouldn't chase momentum, but does it anyway, knows he should stick to his strategy but abandons at the first sign of missed opportunity. The Stoic investor aligns his actions with his principles, regardless of external pressure. When Aurelius faced plagues, invasions, and betrayals that could have justified abandoning his philosophical principles, he deepened his commitment to them. His private journals from the most stressful periods of his reign show not a man making exceptions for difficult circumstances, but a leader using external pressure to strengthen internal discipline. This is why Marcus Sterling wasn't tempted by HCWB's surge. Not because he lacks ambition or doesn't want maximum returns, but because he's learned what Aurelius knew, that sustainable success comes from perfecting your system, not from reactive adjustments to every market fluctuation. Sterling has seen dozens of stocks explode and crash, has watched FOMO destroy more portfolios than any bear market, has witnessed the pattern repeat itself with such regularity that his response has become automatic. Acknowledge the movement, analyze the implications, maintain strategic focus. The market will offer you 1,000 more opportunities like HCWB. Some will make millionaires overnight. Most will create bag holders who confuse speculation with investment. The Stoic investor doesn't need to catch every move because he's positioned to benefit from the market's long-term wealth creation. While others chase individual stocks, he builds systems. While others react to daily volatility, he compounds returns. While others cycle between greed and fear, he maintains the emotional equilibrium that allows him to think clearly when opportunities actually align with his strategy. Marcus Aurelius closed his evening reflections with these words: "Be like the rocky headland on which the waves constantly break. It stands firm, and round it the seething waters are laid to rest." Today's HCWB surge is one wave in an ocean of market movements. The Stoic investor remains the headland, unmoved by individual waves, positioned to weather any storm, built to last while speculation crashes around him. Your discipline today determines your wealth tomorrow. The market rewards those who can resist its temporary temptations in service of its permanent opportunities. This is how ancient wisdom creates modern wealth. The Stoics had a word for what separates wealthy investors from the rest: Next video reveals it.